AfroCentric is an investment holding company with its majority asset being the healthcare administrator MedScheme. It also owns a third of Jasco and has a deal with Rio Tinto. AfroCentric has a market cap of 990 million rand, a price to earnings ratio of 6 and a dividend yield of 2.4%. So what do you make of AfroCentric?
Very interesting company. I mean, originally it was formed and people thought, well, this is interesting. Three old corporate titans of South Africa's corporate scene took it over. That's Brian Joffe, Motti Sachs more particularly, because he's the operational executive, and then Maya Khan, the previous SAB chief. At first they did nothing, and so it was, well, what's going on here? But they quietly have assumed control of MedScheme, which is, South Africa's largest medical aid administrator by members. And they have the stake in Jasco and the thing with Rio Tinto, and the share price has been moving along nicely recently. I think in anticipation of further corporate developments, and the thing does seem to be maturing. And those guys keep a close watch on it, but they are operational executives as well. So certainly an interesting story.
Looking at AfroCentric, out of the trading update, seeing earnings up about 15 to 20%. So that's the whole earnings growth you were talking about. What do you make of it right now?
Well, Paul's already touched on, really. You've got an investment committee of heavy hitters, there's Khan, Sachs and Joffe, and they decide what to put into the company. Then it's, my understanding is run fairly on a decentralized model. I mean, Jasco's got its own management team separately listed. MedScheme is part of Lesson that they changed its name to AfroCentric Hot. I mean, that's basically run on its own. So it's an investment holding company where you've got guys who proven they can make acquisitions, proven they can do them successfully, and they know what businesses they're looking for. But at this point, the variable we don't know is what they're going to buy in the future. But what we do know now is about 73% of the sum of parts, the underlying value of AfroCentric is MedScheme. And MedScheme is a very attractive business. There's really only three players. The industry is currently in consolidation, but there's only really three players. There's Discovery, Metropolitan, that's now part of MMI Group, and then there's MedScheme. And these guys can carve the market between each other. What I like is MedScheme has the best BE credentials, flowing down through, from AfroCentric to it. So as a whole, it's a very attractive business, and you're seeing profits grow steadily. What's nice is it's annuity profits. Well, annuity incomes, because administration by definition is annuity. So overall, it's very, very comfortable. That underpin is attractive, and like you touched on earlier in the introduction, 6 times PE. It is even paying dividends. So overall, the guys are delivering. It fell off the radar of a lot of guys when they first listed, and that's why I think it's offering this value that it currently is.
So it's the time to get into AfroCentric right now.
Absolutely. I mean, I see it sum of parts, and this is even after a investment holding discount of about 13%. Its sum of parts is about 4 rand, and you're buying at a discount to that. It also, the blue sky potential in AfroCentric is sitting in MedScheme, is a national healthcare insurance, which is obviously nothing more than one massive medical aid scheme. And government, if the past is anything to go by, government outsources this to the private sector, in which case AfroCentric's BE credentials become a massive valuable asset.
So it's a positive for them right
Huge
now.
Positive.
So Paul, what do you make of the stake in MedScheme and long-term prospects for this one?
It's interesting you're addressing the NHI in that fashion. I think I agree with you. For some people, they think the NHI means they're going to shut down all the private clinics, and if you get sick, you have to go to Barra. But that's probably not the likely outcome. We're talking about something that's going to roll out over decades, and everybody knows the state hospitals are a total mess. And the state's ability to manage a scheme which had compulsory contributions and then tax distributions, that would also be a mess, because the capital spending and the state distribution of cash to the provinces is very bad. So I think if you take a sober look at it, the eventual outcome is what Keith suggests, is that the government will put more money into medical schemes, and they'll encourage people to have health insurance for the risk element. So I think MedScheme is perfectly positioned because they have this sort of best relationship. They're already administering lots of state-owned schemes, for policemen, I think, and
they've got
those
gyms,
people.
Yeah.
So I think that all adds up nicely. Some of the other assets, well, we're going to talk about Jasco in a minute. The Rio Tinto minerals venture, I'm not sure where that could go. The other thing about AfroCentric is I think it's sitting on quite a lot of cash, like about 250 million rands worth of cash. So it's possible that it could do something with regard to a dividend. I know at the results recently they said dividend decision is sort of pending. So that could be another plus. So it's going from an old shell, cash shell, which had nothing in it. Now it's got something going and it's even potentially paying dividends. It all begins to stack up. Market cap of around R1 billion. So it's sort of getting there.
So hot or not?
Yeah, I think, you remember I'm very keen on the healthcare sector. So I think on that score, it's hot for me.
Keith, hot or not in this
Definitely hot. I like the valuation, I like the underpin of assets, I like the heavy-hitting management team sitting in investment committee. There's nothing wrong here. It's good. There's definitely hot.
What they're doing. So two hots on AfroCentric.